Some years ago, when I ran my own business, I often installed kitchens. One particular job required plastering before I could fit the new units, so I called in Brian the plasterer. Now, I'd worked with Brian many times before. He'd been plastering since he left school, and he was already a lot older than me, probably in his late 50s at that time. Brian was the best plasterer I knew, quick, clean and incredibly skilled. On this occasion, I decided to ask Brian if he could teach me how to plaster. To my delight, he was happy to do so. The lesson began and I quickly discovered that plastering was far more difficult than Brian made it look. I'd always admired Brian's work whenever he completed a job for me. But as his apprentice, I came to understand just how much skill was involved. Before long, I had plaster everywhere. It was on the floor, it was on my shoes, it was just about every surface except for the wall. This experience made me realise how easy it is to admire someone from a distance. Many of us admire Jesus. We've read stories about him, we've heard people talk about him, we've perhaps even studied by reading books about him. It's easy to watch from afar and conclude without any effort on our part that Jesus was truly remarkable. Just as I admired Brian's plastering. But becoming an apprentice of Jesus is a completely different journey. When I tried to plaster, I quickly realised how far my own efforts fell short of Brian's. In the same way, when I try to live like Jesus, my results don't always match up. There are moments of success, but also plenty of times when, despite my best efforts, I fall short. Yet I believe we're not just called to admire Jesus from a distance, but to actively follow him, to have a go even when we fail along the way. When I was learning to plaster, I discovered two things. First, I gained a deeper appreciation for Brian's skills. I also learned how to plaster myself. After many more attempts, some with Brian's guidance and others on my own, I eventually managed to get more plaster on the wall than on the floor. In the same way, when we move beyond merely admiring Jesus and step into the role of apprentice, we grow. Through our efforts to follow him, however imperfect, we not only come to appreciate just how extraordinary he is, but we also become more like him. So let's not settle for just admiring Jesus. Let's take up our apprenticeship, knowing that even if we stumble along the way, each attempt draws us closer to him.